Hi, it's Richard from Ignite Growth, and I just want to talk about embracing an inbound sales mentality. So inbound is all about being human, holistic and helpful with everyone who comes into contact with your business. That's a core philosophy of inbound. So your sales process should be no different. You should be able to really engage with people on a level that makes them feel like you're helping them and you're understanding them at every point that they have contact with you as a business. So if they come into your ecosystem, they need to be understood and helped at every point. And your sales process is key to that. So having an inbound sales mentality is all about how we stop selling to people and start helping people. So I think there's always be closing used to be the old phrase in the 80s and 90s in sales. You're always closing and it's a really aggressive approach. I think always be helping is the inbound sales methodology that we need to be embracing. We're always helping people all the way through their buying decision to make the right decision for them. And sometimes, as I've said in other videos, sometimes that decision may be not to use you. But if we do inbound sales correctly, then you should be naturally positioning yourself as the best solution for the challenge that they're facing or the opportunity that they're looking to realize or the pain that they're in at the moment. Your solution, if it's a good fit person, it's someone who you can really help, then you should always be positioning yourself as the best solution throughout that, but in a very natural way, very human way, and a very helpful way. So again, that's the inbound philosophy. So how does inbound sales work? Well, there's 4 parts to inbound sales. There's identify. So how do we identify good fit people and good fit prospects as they come into our ecosystem? And I've talked a lot about using a good fit matrix. So if you look for the video on a good fit matrix, then that will go into how we actually use a matrix to identify exactly what a good fit person looks like. Once we've identified with them, we then connect. So how do we connect in a human way with those people? So again, sales outreach is very much broadcasty. The old style was very much hit as many people as we can and hope some of them show some sort of interest and come back. It was the old AIDA principle: attention, interest, desire and action. So again, it's really removed from that, because what we're trying to be here is helpful. So we're supplying the right type of content, we're connecting with people in the right way. So things like video, I talked about in another video about using video to outreach to people in an email. So very personalized outreach is the key to modern B2B sales. Modern inbound sales methodology is all about, we've identified the right person, they definitely have a need, they're in an active sales process at the moment. Then as we reach out to them, we connect in a very natural way. And I find that video, using a service like Vidyard, is really effective at doing that, because people open and they meet you as a person. There's a real emotional connection. So again, reaching out with an email, picking the phone up to people. Again, the phone and email are still the two most effective ways of connecting with people. But of course, we've got LinkedIn as well, which is probably the 3rd most effective sales tool that the modern sales person is using. And inbound sales, it fits perfectly. Being able to connect and engage with people over social media, liking their posts, then reaching out to them and saying, oh, by the way, should we connect on LinkedIn? Then giving more value, getting in a very natural conversation until a sales conversation naturally starts. Again, adding that to email and telephone calls is a real key part of an inbound methodology. So you've got your identify stage, you've got your connect stage. We then move into the explore stage. So this is questions all about them. And again, I've covered this in a sales process video I did, but the real key to the exploratory phase is not talking about you as a business, but talking about them, really understanding them, understanding the situation they're in, what they've gone through, what are the different solutions they've already looked at. So again, you can address a lot of these things that may become a blocker later on to them actually agreeing to work with you. You can handle these far earlier in the sales process now by having a really good exploratory call with someone. So I'd say your exploratory phase maybe is 1 or 2 calls. You really need to get the decision maker on that call, but also the decision making group, as many other people who would be involved in that decision as possible. So it may be the operations manager you're talking to, but you might need the FD involved, you might need a CEO of a company involved. There's always going to be 4 or 5 people in a decision-making group. So again, having all those people on the exploratory call and asking lots of questions about the situation they're facing, where they are now and where they want to get to, and then some of the things they've tried. I think I'm always exploring gaps, opportunities, challenges, trying to work out some timescales. Yes, I will touch on budget as well during the exploratory call. And then towards the end of that exploratory phase of the process, I may, in the last 5 or 10 minutes, start talking a little bit about the solution and how I feel we could help them. So again, you've got identify, connect and explore. And then of course you've got advise. So the advise stage is when you've gone through those first 3 parts of the process and they've asked you then to present a proposal. So rather than a written proposal that's just going to sit on someone's desk somewhere, don't be tempted at that stage to submit a written proposal. Ask to do a face-to-face proposal, or at the very least a virtual proposal, where again all the decision makers are in the room, everyone's involved in that proposal, in that presentation, and then you produce a very bespoke, personalized deck solely for that business. Do not use a generic deck in those. You want to really make it as personal as possible. So all the information you've got in the explore phase should now be coming in. You should be talking about their target audiences, what they're trying to achieve, their turnover goals, what they're talking specifically about how working with them will allow them to hit and tick off a lot of the things that you've uncovered in the explore phase is really important then. So then in your presentation phase, you've really come to the end, and then after the presentation phase, really I would be closing that with these are the next steps. And you really want to have a situation where it's yes, we want to work with you, or no, we don't. It's a closed lost situation or a closed won situation. You may have a follow-up meeting to the presentation, of course. There may be a questions that come up, so you may want to have a sort of a goal setting and a question answering phase. I would often have that before the presentation. After the exploratory call, I would often have a goal setting call just to make sure everybody's aligned before we have that presentation, and that will often dictate the goals that we're trying to achieve from the project. All of those can be talked about in probably a little smaller half-hour call, but I have a goal setting and alignment type call where I'm just making sure that everybody's aligned, and what I thought they wanted and what I thought we could help them with is exactly what they want, and we're all aligned around that, including timescales. And then again, you can touch on budgets a bit there. So nothing should come as a shock in the presentation. Again, following that, you really have got a closed won or a closed lost deal. So I think that's a situation you want to get to, make it that predictable, your sales process, but a very natural inbound sales process that's helping people, giving them the right information, understanding their situation, and really making sure that all the boxes are ticked for them as you go through that process very naturally, rather than feeling that they're ever being sold to. It should be a natural alignment on you helping them to achieve their goals, you helping them to achieve the opportunity that they're looking to achieve, overcome a challenge, whatever scenario you're in as a business, and how you help people. So hopefully that was useful. I just wanted to cover that in a bit more detail, because I know I've had questions coming in from the Good Fit Matrix and from the 4-step sales process videos I did, and I thought covering the inbound sales philosophy and the approach is probably something that would be very useful and valuable to you. All right, so if you haven't signed up yet, and subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the link just here. You'll be able to subscribe up through that link, and also tap on that bell icon so your notifications are activated, and you'll be notified when I upload any new videos. All right, talk to you soon and take care. Bye now.